Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of The Last Full Measure. The Last Full Measure tells the actual true story of William Pitzenberger, a member of the Air Force who died in heroic fashion during the Vietnam War. But decades after the war had concluded, the fight to get him his much deserved Medal of Honor continues on when fellow veterans of the war push a young warrior to fight for his honor. If I'm being honest, I have seen the trailer for this film maybe once or twice in passing, but I didn't know all that much about this movie. Complete transparency, I had to keep reminding myself the name of this film because it kept slipping my mind. I didn't even know it was being released at this time of year because I just didn't see it anywhere. I didn't see advertising. I wasn't hearing about it. And all of that seemed quite bizarre because this film has a stacked cast. Sebastian Stan, William Hurt, Christopher Plummer, Samuel L. Jackson, Ed Harris, and Peter Fonda in one of his, if not his, last role. But I was hoping that the cast and the talent involved were a good indication that although we hadn't heard much about it, the quality would still be there. That this would turn out to be one of those hidden gems, if you will. And overall, I think it's a solid film. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, I have to give it up to the acting cast because I do think they were all really fantastic. Sebastian Stan is our lead in this film, and he does a very good job. At first, it took him a minute to warm into the role, but as his character developed, his performance really developed with it. And it was not only suitable, but brought a lot of heft to his character and that storyline. Christopher Plummer was wonderful, as he always is. And I have to say, just as an actor, he brings so much presence to any project he's in. And even amongst a stacked cast like this, in a minor role like he has here, he just brings so much to the movie at large. William Hurt is also fantastic in this role. And Samuel L. Jackson, I haven't seen play a role like this in some time, and this is one of his deeper performances I've seen in years. Beautiful to watch. Plus, Ed Harris gets some really meaty scenes. Really, all of the cast, Peter Fonda, all of them do a wonderful, wonderful job. And in many ways, it's their acting performances that bring this film to life. And delving deeper into that, it's their depiction and the overall depiction of PTSD and post war traumas that really got me. It's what really kind of propelled the story and gave it some deeper meaning. A lot of subtle ways in which that's depicted, and again, I have to give it up to the actors for doing such a wonderful job. And of course, the true story, the actual story we're depicting here, the story of Pitts, if you will. And I'm always happy to see a film like this that just brings an unseen, unsung hero's story to the light, especially one that took over 30 years of fighting from these veterans to get told. Plus, I think at the root of them all, the messages in this film are really admirable and really touching. The movie definitely gets to that point of tugging at your heartstrings and getting to the emotional core of what this story is all about. And I do think it's really going to resonate with a lot of veterans and families of veterans. So then, what does the film not do quite so well? Far and away, my biggest negative on the film is the script. So Todd Robinson wrote and directed this film. Now, I think the direction is solid enough. I do think there are some hiccups, like the establishing shots were a bit much for me, particularly when we kept seeing the Pentagon as we go inside. It's like, oh, okay, we didn't need this type of editing and we didn't need this type of establishing shot. But other shots were beautiful and other overlays were nicely done. So the direction was shaky but serviceable. However, that screenplay really just wasn't very good. It was very on the nose and it left a lot to be desired. Our characters are constantly asking questions or pushing forward into conversations that feel pretty obvious overall. It really kind of does away with any sort of nuance that you would hope for. We do see a lot of showing, but this film does a lot of just straight up telling us. And I don't think we needed that to get the message across, to get the emotions across. The story is wonderful as is, and we didn't need this very blunt, forward storytelling. And then the dialogue is just not good. It doesn't really feel authentic. It doesn't have natural motion and movement to it, and that was also disappointing. So the screenplay and the script overall just don't hold up. And that leads me into my next issue with the film at large, is that we don't push far enough into any direction. So they bring up a lot of great points, and we have a lot of solid messages here at the heart of the film. We never push into those messages to delve deeper. We don't push far enough into PTSD and what these men are going through. We just kind of state the surface of each of them to get the overall picture. When it comes to the Vietnam War, I think they do a good enough job of depicting just how horrible the war was at large. But what we don't push far enough into, certainly, is the government and the government's play in all of this. We heavily hint, and we even open that door of the government's involvement in the war and what was happening, as well as high ranking members and companies and their involvement. But at the end of the day, they're not really exposed in this film. We don't see like true justice in form of acknowledgement here when it comes to the government and the CEOs and these people that put our soldiers in harm's way and got so many people senselessly killed, unfortunately, including the man at the center of our story here. And I think ultimately that's a pretty big disservice to this story and to his story particularly. The script and the story and the movie at large just skimmed the surface all the way around, and I constantly felt the desire to just go deeper and to really push into these things. So overall, as I said, the last full measure is a serviceable to solid film that will give audiences overall what they're hoping for going into the movie. I do think it will really resonate well with servicemen and veterans, and really I think it could be veterans from any war. I don't necessarily think they have to be from Vietnam, but also to those that have family members or friends who have served and are servicemen and women. I think it will really resonate well with those folks. I think this is a worthy watch, a heavy watch that definitely gets the emotions by the end, but one that I think they'll be able to appreciate. Otherwise, if you're looking for more of the true story aspects to this film, if you are looking for a true story that really brings an unheard truth and an unheard heroism to the forefront, I think this is a rental. It just doesn't go deep enough. It doesn't do enough for me to warrant that theatrical experience for just filmmaking purposes, but it is still a worthy watch for the acting performances and just the wonderful story that is at hand here. And regardless, however you see this film, if you see this film, definitely stay for the end credits. We get some testimony from some of these veterans and some of the people involved. And as is the case quite a bit of the time for true stories with me, getting to see those real life people speaking about their experiences and about this man, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. So definitely stay through those end credits. So that is my review of The Last Full Measure. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see The Last Full Measure? What is your favorite film about an unsung hero? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!